County Jail is facing a federal lawsuit after an alleged assault by detention officers on an inmate. The confrontation was caught on camera. Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia spoke with the Texas Civil Rights Project, the nonprofit organization representing the former.
Page lawsuit in Anasia Smith alleges that 9 detention officers inside the Harris County Jail violently attacked her in an incident that happened in 2023. Serving time at the Harris County Jail, she moved to Houston from New York, and she had allegedly used a debit card without permission, but that charge was dismissed.
It's shocking, but we know that what Ms. Smith experienced was horrific and life-altering, but it also wasn't unique. This is a long-standing policy culture of violence that just pervades the Harris County Jail.
Due to her good behavior and presenting low risk, she was appointed as a trustee.
So she was assigned a job as a trustee cleaning the unit. She had to work overnight. Her shift was the full overnight shift, and it was an exhausting shift.
The lawsuit alleges that Smith had permission from working the late night shift, communicated to all of the detention officers.
Ms. Smith had permission to leave. The unit door was opened for her. She would not have been allowed to leave the unit she would not have been able to leave the unit if a staff member had not opened the locked door for her.
The security footage is raising outrage on social media.
It's hard to imagine what the goal would have been to surround her, force her to the floor, punch her repeatedly, drag her across the floor, grind her face into the ground, pull her hair, pull her clothes. There's just no possible legitimate explanation for that kind of behavior.
Fox 26 reached out to the Harris County Attorney's Office as well as the Harris for a response to this lawsuit and allegations. We did not get a response in time for this report. For now, reporting outside the Harris County Jail, Jonathan Mejia.
All right, peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. And here is another case of brutality against inmates who are in custody. Now I'm going to show you the complete video, and we're going to break that down and show you how this was a case of deputies or law enforcement officers literally brutally beating, jumping, almost gang attacking an inmate. Now, you heard the story of Anasia Smith, who was an inmate in the Harris County, which is Houston jail, and she was accused of using a debit card without permission, which was later dropped. Now, she was assigned a trustee position in which trustees are given extra privileges. They are let out of their cells most of the time at night to provide cleaning duty. Now, at this point, they said that, Miss Smith was exhausted and she wanted to go back to her cell, in which she was given permission by a superior. Now, you're going to see in this video where maybe she had some words with this other officer, and you'll see the officer just haul off and hit her. Now, at that time, Miss Smith, well within her rights, began to defend herself, at which time 4 or 5 more other deputies got on her, started beating her. They were not trying to restrain her. They were not trying to get her to comply. They were literally beating this woman to a pulp. Unfortunately, she has recently filed a lawsuit, which has allowed this footage to become public. Now, I'm going to show this footage with you, but I'm also going to break it down at various points to show you how this was a gang attack, not some sort of attempt to restrain a non-compliant inmate. Just take a look at this. All right, and so there you see Miss Smith walking calmly, not being distracted, not being disruptive. She definitely looks like she's tired. And you see the officer probably tell her to go stand over there. She gets into y'all, boom. Now the officer hits her and she starts defending herself. Now, here is the other lady. She's almost trying to break it up. Now you see that lady right there, that stud, come out. I'm just going to call her a stud. We're going to rewind it a little bit because she came out with the expressed intent to fight. Now you see them fighting. They're going at it. Now that lady right there, she didn't come out. She came in with strictly, and there's another one coming in with the intent of beating her. Look, that is beating. Like she's no longer a threat. She's in a fetal position, and those people are actually now she's contained. But they still continue to beat her and drag her. Look, she's not fighting. She's not swinging. And now they have her away from the camera. One is still hitting her. That's the one that started it. She's trying to get her licks back. And you see the man over there. He just like, now they're still hitting her. What's the use of hitting her now? She's already restrained. Look, she's not doing anything. She can't. And look at the dude. He wants to break it up, but now I thought that was a dude at first, but that is what they call a stud. And they already beaten her. And look at her. She wanted to get her licks in too. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves. All of those officers right there, and I hope they were suspended. We're going to stop it right here for a minute. I hope all of those officers were suspended. Hopefully they lost their jobs and are not able to do this to any other inmates. And like the lady mentioned within the news report, saying like this is a culture of violence. You heard the man say that, the sheriff was not able to be reached for comment. And they did get a statement from him saying, over the years, we've tried to implement new training and de-escalation techniques to prevent physical altercations. But the reporter says that these altercations have remained steady and constant throughout his tenure, which means he's done nothing about it. Now, we can go through any jail in the United States. I've recently uncovered 3 or 4 beatings recently in my hometown of Goldsboro, North Carolina, which has remained covered up. The individuals are still in jail and they have received no recourse as this young lady has. But we've seen the story of Robert Green and several other inmates throughout this past year that has been beaten almost to death, some to death, by the quote unquote deputies in the jail. So in me being a person who have been incarcerated, who have been beaten, choked, almost, choked to death in one instance, I can attest to this behavior. And there's no explanation for that. That young lady, while she was engaged with that one officer who struck her first, she had every right to defend herself as a human being, not as an inmate. And then those other individuals, they didn't try to break it up or subdue her. They went to attacking her. And that is the gang mentality that we see in police and, law enforcement entities. Now, I'm just going to let you watch this one more time without commentating so you can, not listen to my narrative, but just use your own 2 God-given eyes that he gave you to decipher what really went on. Just one more time. And we'll stop it right there again. But, you know, that shows just the cowardly nature of all 6 of those people jumping on that young lady. Some of them began to hit her while she was already balled up in a fetal position, began to drag her across the floor, grind her face into the floor. And so that lawsuit is pending now, I guess, because of the impending lawsuit. The footage has just recently been released. This happened in 2023, which is about 2 years ago. So this lady has endured pain, fear, chronic back pain, and headaches and things of that nature due to this beating. So I don't know anybody who can look at this beating and somehow justify those individuals' conduct. Again, if she would have struck the officer first, then we would almost be able to justify it a little bit, even though within the fight or within the confines of the fight, once she had given up and put herself in the fetal position, there should have not been more licks handed upon her. But you see even other people coming in after everybody else has stopped punching her, and then they start punching her. Almost like, let me get my lick back. I think that was the one who first started it and really bit off more than she could chew. And so this is another incident. So once again, of people in prison and jail being treated inhumanely, as the scripture says. Remember those who are in prison as it were you yourself. So while these people in orange jumpsuits or black and white striped suits may seem inhuman to you, this could easily be you or one of your relatives. So I'm sure that you would want some sort of justice or someone advocating on your behalf if this was you or your relative. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for watching. Much love, peace, and blessings as always. Thank you.